Michael Jackson's will was filed today, but it is 7 years old, and in it, Jackson left his entire estate to a family trust. In essence, well, in effect, cutting out his ex-wife Debbie Rowe, who's said to be the mother of 2 of his 3 children. We're not even sure of that anymore. And nominating his own mother, Catherine, to be the guardian of those children, which may not be his children biologically. So what does this mean for the Jackson clan and Jackson's 3 children? We've buried the lead here. With us now is the family law attorney, Alexis Neely. You know what the lead is today. We totally missed the lead in this story. We didn't even include it. You know what it is? Diana Ross was the backup, hey, would you take the kids? What's that?
Yeah, well, the question is, does she know?
I don't have any idea if she knows. I don't know if she knows anything. Crazy.
Yeah, and Catherine is 79 years old, so it's quite possible that the backup could need to step in. And that's something that most parents don't even ever think about, is what happens if something happens to the first person I've named as guardian? You've got to have backups, and they really should know if they've been named.
What happens if Michael Jackson is not the father of any of these kids, and Roe is not the mother of 2 of these kids, as we are now being led to believe is a possibility? Legally speaking.
Well, the birth certificate is going to have presumptive effect in this case, and my understanding is that he does appear on the birth certificate for all 3 of the children. So it'd be unlikely that they're not going to be considered his children for purposes of his estate planning documents. And because he's leaving everything through a trust, we may not even know what they're receiving or when they're receiving it, because it's all going to end up going through the trust anyway.
All right, there's a lot more to this. What if what he owes, what if his estate amounts to owing a lot of money? Along the way, I mean, what happens?
Well, along the way, what's going to happen now is there's going to be a probate process, and that probate process is basically the court overseeing the rights of the creditors of his estate. So the creditors are going to have a 4-month period during which they can file claims against the estate, and it's during that time that we're going to find out, are there assets available to pay these creditors, and are there assets left over that are going to be able to go into the trust?
You know, I don't know what iTunes got off the Michael Jackson death over the weekend, but I probably spent $40 on there, and I figure there's a lot of money coming in. And I guess the question is, all this money that's been made, I don't know, posthumously, but it's still the money of the estate, and how does it all come together?
Well, the executors of the estate, which look to be John Bronca, the lawyer,
right,
and 2 other gentlemen that he named, their responsibility is to marshal all of these assets. So they're going to have to bring all the assets together and determine what's there and what's available to pay the creditors. Everything left will go into the trust, assuming that there are assets available to go into the trust, which I think that there will be. We don't know, but I've heard that his estate could be worth $600 million with debts of $500 million. So I think
that would leave $100 million for the lawyers.
They won't get that much, though. They will take quite a bit in this case.
Oh, I bet you they do. I bet you they do. They're lined up like at a bet. Like it's as if their horse just hit. And lawyers line up here. Nothing but love,
well,
but I mean, reality is what it is. I got to get out of here. We have to move on because I've talked way too much.
All right. Well, thanks,
It's
Tom.
not a new problem.